Magandang araw mga kabiyahe and welcome to the pilot episode of Biyahe ni Bay. Before we're gonna be starting our session, please don't forget to hit on the subscribe button below. Alright, so for this pilot episode, what we're gonna be discussing today is about emergency fund. Ito yung mga topics or mga common questions about emergency fund. So, what we're gonna be tackling is first question is this: magkano ba talaga ang kailangan mong masave for the emergency fund? Marami tayong naririnig tungkol dyan. Kung like say for example, some bababasa natin, nasasabihin nila within 3 to 6 months dapat meron kang emergency fund or a year worth of emergency fund. Then, itatakol natin yung question na yan. Second question is, saan ba gagamitin ang emergency fund? Is it for pang sale ba yan or pang travel ba yan? So, we were gonna be talking anong klaseng mga emergencies na gagamitin mo ang emergency fund. And the third question is this: Alan, what if walang-wala talaga akong pera? Paano ako makapag-save na emergency fund? Negative na negative nga ako. So that's a very good question, and that's a very good challenge then. So we will be tackling that one as well. And then the fourth question is this: saan mo ilalagay or saan mo isi-save ang emergency fund mo? So be sure to stick around so that we will be discussing these questions that we have. Alright, so we're gonna start our journey now with Biyahe ni Bay with Alan Kalumpang. Ang pinaka first question ngayon na sasagutin natin is, para saan ba ang emergency fund? So ang mangyayari dito is meron kang isang fund, meron kang tinatawag natin na money jar, na meron kang isang fund na specific only for emergency fund. So para saan ba ang emergency fund? Gagamitin mo ba ito pang sale, kung gusto mo mag-travel, or para kung may emergency ba sa Pilipinas, may magkasakit, or gusto mo bang ipahiram ba to? Depende yan sa'yo. Pero anyway, ang pinaka definition ko, pinaka guide ko when you're gonna be using your emergency fund is this: you should only be using your emergency fund for life and death situation. So anong ibig sabihin nito? Hindi siya pwedeng gagamitin mo pang sale. Hindi mo din to pwedeng gagamitin mo pang travel mo, or like say for example na may nanghihiram sa'yo. So kasi kung ipapahiram mo yan, ang challenge na is this: kung pinahiram mo ngayon, bukas kailangan mo na, anong gagamitin mo? Ikaw na naman yung manghihiram. So yun nga, the emergency fund, ang emergency fund, gagamitin mo yan lang life and death situation. So anong ibig sabihin nito? Kung say for example, kung wala ka ng kakainin, nawalan ka ng trabaho, if hindi mo na kaya, wala ka ng other ways to buy food or to have food for your family, then maybe you can use your emergency fund. Life and death situation, say for example, may sakit sa family mo, and then wala kang say for example, wala kang yung family mo, or wala kayong medical health insurance, then maybe you can also use your emergency fund. So ang importante lang, gagamitin mo yung emergency fund for emergencies or for situations na related to life and death, na wala ka nang talagang other choices or other options. So parang only break this glass lang talaga in case of real emergencies. So hindi pwedeng hiramin mo muna tas bayaran mo next month, or magta-travel ka kasi kaya kulang yung pera mo, baon mo sa Pilipinas or sa travel mo. No. Kung gusto mo mag-travel, it has to be a travel fund. Hindi pwedeng emergency fund yan. So, we're good with that. So, ang purpose ng emergency fund, gagamitin mo yan for emergencies related to life and death. And then yung parang wala ka ng other options, other choices, except for breaking that emergency fund. Breaking that jar, breaking that glass, dahil may life and death emergency. So, yun yung purpose mo sa emergency fund. So, hopefully that will guide you. Ito yung parang basic guideline mo on when to break that glass. So, when to use your emergency fund. And then the second question is this: so, magkano ba talaga ang sapat na emergency fund na kailangan natin i-save? So, some people, even in the net, kung mababasa mo different advice from different people, nagbabari yan, 3 to 6 months, 3 to 9 months, 3 to 8 months, even 1 year. So depende pa rin yan sa'yo kung saan kayo comfortable, and depende yan sa parang Kasi some people could already live with just even 3 months worth of emergency funds. So some people medyo conservative sila, hindi sila risk averse, or like yung parang gusto nila na at least comfortable pa rin sila or safe or secure pa rin sila na meron silang 1 year emergency fund. So you can, depende naman yan sa'yo. But for a start, kung walang-wala ka ng emergency fund ngayon, pinaka minimum for now, you have to have at least 3 months worth of emergency fund. Anong ibig sabihin ng 3 months worth of emergency fund? 3 months worth of expenses sa emergency fund mo. I mean, sa monthly expenses mo. So, ang idea nito is like, itatali mo lahat ng mga basic expenses mo, lahat ng kailangan mong bayaran on a monthly basis. It could be utilities, rents mo, mortgage mo, na kailangan mo talagang bayaran. Even school fees sa mga anak mo. And then medical health insurance, depende yan. So kung ano man yung mga basic expenses mo and then na kailangan mo talagang bayaran that you need, so yun yung gagamitin mo as your basis for your emergency fund. So once you have your monthly expenses, you have to multiply it by 3, so para meron kang 3 times worth of or 3 months worth of emergency fund. If comfortable ka na sa 3 months, then that's good. Kung gusto mo naman ng dagdagan pa yan, then you can have at least 6 months din na emergency fund. And then ang next question na usually na maririnig ko, natatanungin nila, "Bay Alan, paano yan? Wala pala akong pera ngayon. Walang-wala talaga ako, super negative." Tapos sasabihin mo na kailangan kong mag-save ng 3 months worth of my expenses. In 500 pesos nga, nahirapan nga akong mag-save. 3 months worth of my expenses pa. So that's a good question kasi yun nga, a lot of people, they don't have actually that much. And then ngayon lang nila na-realize na kailangan pala talaga nila ng emergency fund. So how are you going to save up for that? So ang uunahin mo is, wag mong isipin yung 3 months worth of expenses. So, I mean, ang unang iisipin mo lang is 1 month kasi at least hindi masyadong malaki. Kung say for example, ang expenses mo on a monthly basis is say for example 10,000 pesos on a monthly basis. So, kailangan mo ng 30,000, 'di ba? As your emergency fund worth 3 months worth of expenses. So, ang unang target mo is yung 1 month muna. So, 10,000, hindi mo naman kailangang ibagsak yan na isang buo yung savings na yan. You can probably save that for at least maybe 3 to 6 months din. So pag-ipunan mo yan na say for example mag 2,500 ka per month or 3,000 pesos ka per month. So depende pa rin yan sa'yo. Pero yun nga, as much as possible, you have to really start saving that emergency fund. So ang next naman na question natin dyan is, yun nga, what if 0 ka talaga? Paano ako makapag-save na parang 3 months nga, 6 months hindi ko na nahirapan ako mag-save ng that amount of money. So how are you going to save for that kung walang-wala ka talaga? Kahit 0, kahit 1 peso, 1 dirham or 1 peso, walang-wala ka talaga, paano mo mapag-ipunan yan yung emergency fund na yan? So ang suggestion ko usually is this. Kasi may tinatawag ako na smart money jars. So ito yung smart money jars. Ito yung mga jars mo. It could be a physical jar, it could be different bank accounts mo na may label, na may specific purpose para saan to. Like ito yung travel jar mo. Ito yung parang pag-iipunan mo for your travels. Like meron kang emergency fund. Ito mga goals mo, business goals mo. Magpapatayo ka man ng restaurant. Ito yung mga separate jars mo for these specific goals, whether it's a short-term goal or a long-term goal. So, ang importante dito, kahit wala kang pera, hanapan mo ng paraan na lagyan yung emergency fund na yan, or these goals, or these jars that you have. I call it smart money jars, but later on we'll be discussing that in the future vlogs that we have. So, if walang-wala ka talaga, find a way to do it on a monthly basis, kahit lagyan mo ng piso isa-isa. So lagyan mo ng 1 dirham or 1 peso each jar every first of the month, because what we're trying to do right now is this. You are creating the habit of allocating. So once you have that habit na every month meron kang 1 dyan, masasanay yung consciousness mo, subconscious mo, yung ikaw masasanay ka mismo na meron kang you are creating that habit of allocating. And then the next benefit of creating the habit of allocating on a monthly basis is this. You are constantly reminding yourself that you have a goal or goals to achieve. Kasi kung piso lang yung ilalagay mo sa emergency fund mo, or like say for example, sasabihin mo na meron kang meron kang anong tawag nito, meron kang other goals like say for example education fund, pang retirement home mo, pang ano. So kung maglalagay ka ng piso na nan, mamomotivate ka, and at the same time you are constantly reminding yourself that you have goals to achieve. Kasi akalain mo yung parang naghahulog ka lang ng piso for that goal, definitely mamomotivate ka, matcha-challenge ka talaga. So ang importante doon is you are creating the habit of allocating, at the same time you are constantly reminding yourself that you have goals to achieve. So yun yung isa sa mga importante na bagay na kailangan nating na kailangan gawin. You have to create the habit of allocating, and then at the same time you are constantly reminding yourself that you have goals to achieve. So ang next question usually niyan is this: saan ba ilalagay ang emergency fund? Saan mo isi-save ang emergency fund? So ang pinaka-criteria dyan is this: it has to be liquid and accessible. Hindi naman pwede yung emergency fund mo nasa binili mo ng bahay. So nasa lote or mga ganun. So, hindi pwede yan kasi pag emergency kailangan mo yung pera as soon as possible. Kung nasa lupain yan, ang problema niya is baka mabenta mo yan ng mas mura kasi emergency, kailangan mo yung pera, di ba? So as much as possible, it has to be liquid and it has to be accessible. So saan mo ilalagay yan? You can probably put it in a savings account na at least high earning naman din. May mga savings account naman dito sa UAE, may savings account na earning on an annual basis 2.5%. So that's actually good. At least kumikita pa rin along the way yung emergency fund mo. Kasi as much as possible hindi siya nakalakin, kasi when the time comes you need it, you have to be able to withdraw it as easy and as fast as you can. So if you have a 3-month worth of emergency fund, ang kailangan mo dyan is ang first month mo worth of ang 1 month mo na emergency fund, you keep it with you. Maybe you can put it in your vault, in a safe, or bahala ka na, just keep it with you. Kasi eto lang yung mangyayari. What if God forbid nagbagyo, brown out, walang ATM machines, so may mga ganun na nangyayari. So paano ka makapag-withdraw kung brown out? Paano like the whole city walang electricity, so paano ka makapag-withdraw nan? So as much as possible, kung may pera ka naman sa bahay nyo, cash on hand, sana naman din hindi nabasa, kasi what if nagbagyo or parang ganon. So at least meron kang pera na magagamit mo. And then like say for example emergency, pang deposit mo sa hospital or ano yung kailangan mo, so at least meron kang cash on hand. Kasi alam mo naman pag ATM, di ba, may mga maximum withdrawal limit yan. So as much as possible, keep something maybe at least a month with you para meron kang easy access to cash. So again, thank you so much for viewing. Thank you so much for watching this video. And I hope may natutunan tayo. So watch out for more videos on Biyahe ni Bay with Alan. Thank you so much, and don't forget to click on subscribe.